It's going to be the beginners against Loyal Dogs OS. We'll be getting the vetoes on screen in just a second. And in fact, I think we are pretty much ready to go. So we're going to skip the vetoes, go right in game, because we've already got our first kill on the board here. Dr. Killinger taking out Pakuno to start off the round.
Yes, beginners versus Loyal Dogs here. As far as I understand it, looking at the standings so far, this should be an upset for beginners if they lose to Loyal Dogs here.
Yeah, beginners have always kind of been the top dogs of Europe. We've seen Boss Fight contend with them on a few occasions, but beginners have very much led the way for Europe ever since we've started covering Onward back in Season 2. So we'll have to see if Loyal Dogs keep up with them. I'm actually surprised the map we ended up going onto, because we ended up going towards Downfall, which we were talking about this a little bit before. It was a pretty unpopular map when we saw the time change come in, but it seems like they're willing to play with it a little bit more. So it might be a little bit different of a play style when it comes to Onward. It seems, though, the beginners are not struggling with it at all, and actually moving through this on the attacking side with quite a bit of confidence. Now, they're still playing this uplink to a pretty standard strategy where they have one or two players just kind of camping. There's a divide that you can kind of see as we go 2/3 away across the map from the right to the left side. There's a little valley here, which is often the contention point that teams have issues crossing. So there'll be two players that'll hold in these respective buildings where we see them hiding on the north side now, and the other three players will sneak through this valley that's on the south side of the map. And that's basically exactly what they've done here. They've moved two players through the south valley already. A third is still sitting back on one of the north hills by that valley, and the other two teammates are up in those north buildings that I was talking about before.
I wonder why on the beginner's side they have a player so far east, more in the middle of the map. He's separating from his team a little bit here.
I think that's just a reposition to have them group up with the north players right now, since they've already found 2 kills, and those were generally found on the north side of the map. There's probably thoughts on the beginners' comms. This is a pretty big map too, so I think there's a little bit. It's a little bit safer to communicate with teammates here, because you're generally not going to be as close quarters to your enemies for a large portion of the round. So there might have been some communication to say, hey, let's shift more players up to the north side because we got 2 kills here. It's probably a little bit weaker. And we do see Gary able to sneak away a frag against the beginners. It's not a full kill just yet, so Kev has an opportunity to take him down. And in fact, it's not going to be him, it's Smoils that finds Gary, meaning they can now get that 5th teammate back out. They might not even need to, though. They've already got this down to a 5v2 now that they've gotten the revive on a Dr. Killinger, and they are very quickly swarming onto that uplink. In fact, someone is already inching close to it. We can see a player directly on top of the uplink. I don't even know if Loyal Dogs have realized this just yet. No, Kev, I think it is going to be right on top of it. And there we go. The round is over. Kev sneaks in the uplink, and beginners will start the map off already with 2 points in their favor, meaning they only need to win the next round, and they've got the map already.
Wow, and it looks like beginners didn't even lose a single player. We haven't seen that yet today. They went in. Gary thought he had one of the players down, but he gets traded off instantly, and all 5 players from beginners alive at the end of this round.
Yeah, it's that push from the north that was just way too strong. Unfortunately, Loyal Dogs were just not able to deal with it at the end of the day. So we saw them falling pretty quickly, and without enough players to watch that cross in the middle that I was talking about before, and kind of that far left side of the map, which leads into the main village, they weren't able to spot their opponents just directly pushing across. That uplink does face the opposite side of the building where their opponents were coming from, so he was able to just walk right across, wasn't even noticed in the process, stole the uplink. And that's a pretty big deal now, as Loyal Dogs have to have a perfect map from this point forward. And given their standings, that's going to be a pretty difficult task to accomplish.
Definitely a difficult task, especially because this map is so big. It seems like the attackers can go on the offensive and defensive at any point throughout the match. It's just such a large map.
Well, it's obviously going to be the same uplink point once again. We've got the beginners that are going to be starting things off on defense now, and having a little bit of fun, it seems, due to their more dominant position on the leaderboards right now. They've already thrown out 2 of their smokes. They're having a little Christmas party, it seems, with the red and green smokes. So we'll see if that affects them later on. Defenders here obviously don't really need smokes that much, just due to the very open layout of this map. One or 2 smokes, unfortunately, isn't going to be enough cover to actually block anything off. So may not be too worried about wasting them.
Yeah, and it seems like Loyal Dogs' approach here is a lot slower than beginners. They're trying to rally their each other up and figure out where the enemies are at this point. I don't think they've spotted anyone yet at this point.
Yeah, it's going to be the same general strategy like I talked about before, a split of 2 players to the north, 3 players going to the south valley. And we can see Gary takes the cliff position on the south valley now. He's going to sit behind this rock formation and try to watch over this entire village. We can hear him giving, apologies for talking over that, we can hear him giving a little bit of comms out there too, so he might have been able to spot possibly Icy Woods. I think is the only player he might have been able to get a visual on. Oh, we've got someone using a sniper here too, which we don't see super often. Pakuno is going to try to take the DMR role here with, I believe that's an M14. and try to see if he can work anything with that from range too.
I'm excited to see the snipers. I haven't seen any snipers yet. Curious to see how that works.
They're swift when they do find kills, so it's very rare we see anyone bring a bolt action rifle, because normally the semi-auto snipers can get the job done just as well, and obviously they're a little bit more efficient, so we don't see the bolt action weapons used that much. But the snipers, this is one of the rare maps where the snipers actually do find some viability compared to the smaller maps where it's a little bit more difficult to use them.
It looks like Loyal Dogs are taking this approach fairly slowly. I think they're just trying to pick off somebody from beginners, at least, give themselves the edge before they actually attempt to move forward or make any progress on the map here. I wonder if these North players are going to be able to spot out beginners. And there we go, Woods 43 downs Piconia. We saw Piconia down in the Southern Valley part of the map.
So more than likely we can see him get revived based on the position he went down at. But if he's in the open, that would send the argument the other way here and give beginners probably a man that's going to remain down for the rest of this round. So we'll see if he's going to be able to get back up and into the fight here.
Now in this game, Blue, when you get downed, as you get downed more often, does your timer change at all?
As far as I know, and I might be wrong on this, because if there is a bleed out timer, it's a really long time. Because I don't know if I've ever seen anyone bleed out. So as far as I know, you actually will never just outright die while in a down state. You will just sit there for the rest of the round. But I might be incorrect, though. There might be a timer, but like I said, if it is, it's incredibly long. Okay. So it's usually not too much of a concern in that respect. Woods, though, is going to be able to pick up the first actual kill for this round for the beginners' favor. And it is to knock out one of the members of Loyal Dogs, bringing their defenses down to 4. Also limiting this north push, as it was one of the players here in the north buildings that tries to do it. Donnie doesn't seem to be aware if that teammate is alive or dead. I think he was trying to go for a quick call up there and communicate. Unfortunately, it's in Spanish as far as I know, so I don't speak Spanish, so we're not going to be able to decipher those calls as easily.
Poquito español. I'm just kidding, I don't speak Spanish either. That was my attempt there. Loyal Dogs are down 1 member. It's 5 versus 4 for beginners. And as we said, beginners is a very dominant team in Europe. So and there's Woods 43 finishing and taking down Hi, I'm Gary.
So Gary's going to find himself eliminated. Pakuno goes down yet another occasion as well. And it looks like he's going to find himself knocked out this time. So a full elimination for him. And unfortunately, yeah, it's coming down to the beginners just having that strength over the Loyal Dogs on both attack and defense. Loyal Dogs just haven't been able to start anything on either side so far, and it's looking like we may end up with a very one-sided map if these last 2 members of the Loyal Dogs can't exchange this around at all.
I'm Donnie. Tickets taken out. Woods 43. That is his 3rd kill in this round alone. He's popping
6th in the map as well. And there you go. His brother, Icy Woods, which we didn't talk about that. Beginners have a nice little duo going on with 2 brothers. Both go by the name Woods. So for our sake, it's a little confusing. But yeah, for their sake, it works out pretty well. We could see specifically Woods 43 had himself quite the game there with 6 frags in 2 rounds, 3 per round. Beautiful stuff from him.